Hey everybody, this is TG Watkins, and this is going to be your Daily 5. So we're going to be starting out with the S&P because we need to kind of get the understanding and context of the overall market and what's going on. And what I've kind of been looking at is trying to see if we're going to get something similar to this. It's kind of started in a different formation. So back here we had higher low that kind of kicked this off. This time we've got a lower low, and that was a bit of an undercut and rally. So you can see even here, this is a bit of an undercut, and now we're getting a bit of a rally. We could even say on a weekly basis, you could look at this as the double bottom, and that was kind of the undercut and rally. So that might be one thing to look at. And I do think what I'm generally looking at is that there's this gap here between price and the daily 50, and I think that over time price is probably going to meet the daily 50. The thing I don't know is if price is going to be able to come right up to the 50 like that, or kind of do maybe a bear flag like that, or if it's really just going to go pretty much sideways until the 50 comes down and they meet. But I am looking for price in the daily 50 to meet. I'm just not entirely sure how. And then the other problem is that this could be so choppy that there may not really be anything that we can work with on say a swing basis. This market has rallied 1, 2, or 3 days, and then it kind of gives it back. And that's a very challenging thing for swing traders. It's probably great for day traders and or people who like to sell theta, so calls, sell puts, something like that, because you can more easily determine where the turns are and then just let it expire. This is my point, is something choppy like that. We're kind of getting the same kind of choppy like that. And that is the challenge that poses for swing traders like me. Now, that being said, we are seeing some divergence right here on the hourly chart. We did have the Moxie indicator fire on that low, which is actually pretty good timing. And then I'm kind of here looking at price between the 50 and the 200. So that's another bit of a challenge. And I know we're up a little bit today when I'm recording this, but we can still be ping-ponging between these two moving averages, and I don't have a very clear answer of which way they're going to go. I would generally be looking to see if price can actually tap the hourly 50 and move up and break over the hourly 200, but we don't exactly have that information. And since price did kind of come up today, it could also get rejected again by the 200 and then come back down. So very, very mixed as far as what's going on over here. But I would say that I think in the next few weeks that we should be looking for price and the 50 to converge on each other and meet. The question is just, how is it going to do it? Is it going to do it to where we get a few day move, or is it going to do it all basically with chop? Now, the other thing that is kind of guiding me to that is the UVXY. Now, the UVXY is also very tricky, but I believe I see one of my patterns talking, and it's the 50, 200, 50 maneuver. And so from this point, we did get price to get rejected by the underside of the hourly 200. And typically what I see from a pattern like that is that price then comes back down to the 50. Now, it doesn't have to perfectly bounce off the 50. It can definitely go below the 50, but that is generally you cross over and then you come back down, and then we have to kind of reassess where that goes. And right now, today, we do see price starting to break below the 21 EMA, which leads me to believe that, yes, the UVXY, which is the volatility index, should also be heading back to its daily 50, which the UVXY and the SPY trade inversely to each other. So I would be likely, if the UVXY goes down to the 50, I'd expect the SPY to go up to the 50. Just kind of unsure of the exact path that's going to happen. Part of that also, more divergence. This is negative divergence in this kind, since they are inversely related. And you can see there's the Moxie price trigger to the downside. And then basically price should be starting to kind of follow the hourly 50 to the downside. So those two are generally working well together inversely. And we'll see if the daily 50s are going to be the target in the next few weeks. Then we come over to the XLE. This is basically the only sector that I have seen that is looking fairly healthy. It's the only one with the most decent setups and cleanest setups. And this is energy, oil related, anything else like that. Now, where it started was back here. This was a bit of a fake out. This was an inverse trampoline move. Price should not be over the 50, which is the magenta color line, if the Moxie indicator is below 0. The other thing to note about this start was that there was no divergence that started this move right here. And this is something I talk about all the time when it comes to the Moxie indicator. So notice that when price went down, price went up, and notice that the Moxie indicator went down, the Moxie indicator up. You guys see how they mirrored each other? They totally matched each other. there's no divergence. So there was no real setup. And then also the Moxie indicator never got over 0 despite price being over the 50. So that was not the greatest setup. Now what we have is basically a double bottom in through here. And now we have some positive divergence. So that's what I was looking for in through there. And then we do see here that price pulled back into the daily 21 and the daily 50, which did not happen back here. And so this is looking like a much better setup, for however long this is going to last, because this is a very tricky market still. That looks like a pretty decent setup. That also flagged a little bit sideways and produced a regular trampoline move, which is priced below the 50, but the Moxie indicator above 0. That's a bullish setup. It's kind of like trying to stick a beach ball underwater, wants to pop right back up, which you can see price has popped right back up. And then VKTX, this is in kind of the healthcare or the therapeutic space. Really, all I want to show you is all the Moxie setups right here. This one actually worked out really well. First off, you can see that you can't quite see it here, but just know that the Moxie indicator is above 0. I just couldn't get it scaled properly. And notice that that price was below the 50. So this was really close, but still it was an official trampoline move. Price was below the 50. The Moxie indicator stayed above 0. So that worked out there. And then you can even see an elf shoe, leg, heel, arch of the foot, ball of the foot. There's the elf toe. And so that's another one of those patterns that I talk about, showed up nicely on the daily chart. And then we can see there was a 50, 200, 50 maneuver. So this is also why I'm looking at the UVXY pulling back down to its 50, because it's exactly this pattern. You can see VKX did the same exact thing. It pulled back to the 50. Not only that, it actually dipped below the 50 while the Moxie indicator was above 0. So that was a regular trampoline move, just like what I was saying over here was a trampoline move. That is when price is below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. And look at this, the Moxie indicator was pretty much solid green the entire time, which helped kind of carry you and tell you that this thing was going to keep looking bullish. From there, you can see that price got back on top of the hourly 50, continued to hold it. And then you can even see in through here that price started to hold the 15-minute 50, and the Moxie indicator was really nice and tight. That looked pretty good. So I like to use moving averages. I like to see when price follows them. So you can see here that pullback price was underneath the 15-minute 50, and then it got over it and started to engage with it and use it for guidance to the upside. So that was a really, really clean setup. Now, take it to the other side, AEHR. Yes, this looks like a great stock. It's been doing well. Okay. But it's been challenging for me to trade something like this because it has been bull flagging, so it's good. It's been flagging. Man, to try and find the exact moment of when to get in here, I can show it to you, but in the moment has been really difficult because, for every day you look at this thing, it's been really challenging to find that exact moment. That being said, what I do want to show is price below the 50, the Moxie indicator above 0, so trampoline move. You can see again, there was another trampoline move, so that made it a little bit challenging. The difference, though, is that the 8 was below the 21, and the 8 was over the 21. So when the 8, which is the fast-moving average, is below the 21, which is the slow-moving average, it's in a downtrend. When it's over, it's in an uptrend. So that's really kind of the difference that help you see that on the daily chart. And on the hourly chart, we got a little 50, 200, 50 maneuver there, and it popped up, but then it pulled back. And it would have been a really wild ride to kind of hang on through that, but this did produce a trampoline move. So price below the 50, but the Moxie indicator above 0 is a bullish scenario. So there's a whole lot of chopping through here. There's more I could really go through. I just wanted to kind of point out some of that, and you would have really kind of had to be Johnny on the spot right there to grab that one. So even though this looks good kind of from afar, getting right down into the nitty gritty of it would have been pretty challenging to hang on to something like that, at least through my eyes and how I trade. So the market is not easy out there. We are trying to look for a bit of a lift, and some names will take advantage of it, but man, it's a little bit challenging to kind of find those spots. So that'll be it for your Daily 5. Thanks for watching. And if you guys are interested in me and a little bit more of the social medias out there, you can come over here. We have a free video newsletter. You can check out that link. Then, of course, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And then if you're interested in the Moxie stock trading room that I host and that I run every day, we got live training. I'm always in the chat room with the Q&A, and we really do real-time text alerts. So I give a lot of education, fair amount of trades in through there, and just tell you guys what I see in the market and how things are going. And yeah, we have a pretty good crowd over there. So come on over, check it out, and come say hi. Thanks again.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, Hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.